Slowly come back to your body's awareness. Open your both palms and keep them over your eyes. so that whatever the energy you have collected during meditation in your palms goes back into your body. And gently open your eyes. Thank you so much, Masters, for participating in today's group meditation. Now I hand over to Master Smita.
Thank you, Anita. Welcome to Day 18, friends. Today our topic is, just give me a minute. Yeah. So today I'll be talking about clean mind and body for spiritual progress, or how do you focus on making the mind clean and body clean by actually investing in spiritual progress. So it is one way or the other. So first thing, why do we have to focus on our spiritual well-being? Very important question. Just today, I was talking to one of my clients. So she's actually healing from some things, and there was not much progress in her physical well-being, despite doing all of these raw and typically whatever we do. So there are other cases where people are actually healing. So why is it that there are people who are not seeing a lot of progress with the same kind of diet, but there are some people who are seeing great progress with the same kind of diet? So what is it that actually sets things apart? So that is what we are going to be talking about today. Why do we have to focus on spiritual well-being? So when I asked one of my friends, why is it, so is she aligned to the concepts of nature cure that I've already spoken about, out of which even spiritual well-being is also very important. So she says, I don't like being spiritual. I don't like reading spiritual books. It actually makes me very unhappy when I read all of those things. It makes me very, rather, she's still not aligned. It is not her fault or anything. It is just that she's not aligned. So, but the progress, if one has to see progress, if one has to actually become normal in a physical life, in a physical body, there are certain principles that one has to follow. Because ultimately, it's like when we go to school, we have to wear a uniform and go to school. We have to go to the assembly. We have to reach the assembly by 8 o'clock. And we have to sing a national anthem. We have to do certain things. We have to go and whatever, sit in the class. We can't say that I don't like it, because we are in the school that is managed by a certain organization. And if we are to study in that organization, we have to follow those rules. If I'm studying at home, then I would rather maybe some days wake up at 6 o'clock, some days wake up at 8 o'clock, some days wake up at whatever clock, and then continue to do something. So hence it's very important to understand what is it and why is it that we'll have to be bringing our attention to our spiritual well-being. So American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, I think we've heard his name a lot in English textbooks, right? So yeah, he said he first coined the term health is wealth, health as wealth, or health is wealth in 1860. So it means that if you are healthy, you are actually also wealthy. So who are we? Who are we? We are basically souls. And this body is like a dress that we wear every single day. Today we are wearing one dress. Tomorrow we wear some other dress. So we are not really thinking too much about what we are doing. Yesterday what dress I wore, today what dress I'm wearing, because I don't even remember 2 days ago what dress I wore. It's what do you say? It's just happening without even that awareness. It's actually happening. So this is the kind of, the body is like that. The body is nothing but a physical vehicle. because the soul is more like light. It's an energy. So if the soul needs experience in this dense world, or in this dense dimension or 3D dimension or earth, it needs a body that is also heavy. So what it will do, it will go and sit inside a heavy body, and then it will basically go around. It is more like if you've seen Avatars, in Avatars movie, there are these robots that actually are used where human beings go into the robot, and the robots are basically going in the forest and fighting and all of those things, right? Something like that. So the soul is inside the body, and the body is being used like a robot. So does the body have intelligence of its own? Sure, it does, but based on the programming that has been done from the the controller. So now this body and the mind both are belonging to earth. So they are, one is subtle, one is physical, one is gross, but still they are all belonging to an earthly body. Now the soul is something that we are. So hence, if we are a soul, shouldn't we be focusing on what we need, what have we come here as a baggage with, what is our objective on earth, and what is going to be our takeaway back on earth? So if let's say I have gone to some other location from, let's say I'm working in an IT company or something like that, and then I go to some other location for a certain official trip, and let's say I have to sell some product. So my duty is to go sell a product. So I would have all the prerequisites done and my planning and everything done to basically sell that product or talk about that in front of the customer. And then what would be my ideal objective? To basically sell that product and come back home, come back to my office with whatever profit that we are going to get after the sales. So like that, we are here on an official duty. And in this official duty, we are here with a certain plan. And then we'll have to go back with a certain profit or certain takeaway, or whatever we have come here for, we have certain takeaways to go. We should not go back empty-handed. So what is it that we have to take away? We have to be taking away good habits. We have to be taking away virtues. Okay, virtues. We might take back vices also. Vices are not so great habits. Virtues are good habits. So that is what we are going to take away. So how are we going to make these virtues and vices or habits? We are going to make it by using the props that we have on earth. The props that to be on earth, we have been given the body and the mind. And what does the body and the mind do? The vehicle has to do something, right? So the vehicle is intelligent. It has to do something. So now we have a lot of props on earth. We have people, we have objects, we have situations that are going to come to us, we have experiences. So there is this whole drama going on here, and everything is planned. So we have to basically come here, be in that drama, observe the drama, observe whatever is happening around us by sitting inside this physical vehicle. And this physical vehicle is basically exposed to all this drama. And then it has to make notes. It has to make mental notes, or what do you say? It has to learn its lessons. Oh, this is what happens. Okay, that is what happens. If this happens, that happens. Okay, if this happens, this is what happens. So that is what it does. Soul is just registering. It is basically collecting wisdom. It is collecting wisdom through the experiences that are happening. So if that is our state, if that is what we have to carry, and what happens if we are not learning those lessons? So that is another question that we have to ask. When we don't learn those lessons and we are basically enjoying the ride majorly, but not really focusing on that major takeaway, what happens is this body and the mind, that was that vehicle that has been given as a rented vehicle that has been given, basically becomes spoilt. It starts malfunctioning because we are basically going on a jolly ride in whatever way we want. And now since the vehicle may not have been made to go at 60 kilometers per hour or maybe 100 kilometers per hour or whatever, it basically starts malfunctioning. So this malfunction is called disease. So if we don't use this vehicle in alignment with what it was supposed to be used for, which is work of the soul or for the soul's work, if we don't use that body and mind for the soul's work, obviously what will happen? We will be diseased. So hence, what is called health? Health is a complete state of physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being. So this, whatever happens on earth, that vehicle has to be in a perfect condition. It will be in a perfect condition only when it is used for the purpose that it is being used for. But then how do I know what is the purpose it is being used for? Because I don't come here with a manual. Do we come here with a manual? We don't come here with a manual. So how do I know what it is? So here, that is what happens when that is what is all about spirituality. Now, what typically happens is we don't know what we are supposed to do, and every time we go on this jolly ride, and there's a lot of physical issues that we face with in terms of diseases, and that physical issue basically wakes us up and shakes us and says, okay, my God, you have to change your ways. This is not the way to use this vehicle and things like that. But we still don't know what to do. So it's not just this, the diseases that we have or this malfunction that we have. Let's say we have sort of got into a habit of malfunctioning the vehicle. Let's say I'm a reckless driver. So if I'm a reckless driver, today I will probably drive an SX4 and then mess it up. And then tomorrow I'm going to go and then take a Mercedes Benz and mess it up. So it doesn't matter which physical vehicle I use, but as a soul that is carrying its baggage, what is the baggage? That is the mental body and the emotional body and the etheric body and all of that. We carry all that baggage and attach that body or all that database to this new physical body. And when this new physical body, what happens? All that reckless driving memory, this memory, that memory, working on the way we work with people, all of those things basically comes to this body also. This also starts getting spoiled. So hence, we should develop spiritual habits. So what is spiritual health all about? When we are focusing more about spiritual health, it actually keeps us peaceful even when we are in chaos. You may have a lot of drama in the house. Everything may be happening, but still you will be peaceful. And you will also feel hopeful. Even when the situations are very challenging, you will know that actually there's something good is happening to me, and you will be hopeful of even in that challenging situation. And then you will learn to accept that my life is like this, and then I'm here, it's my plan, I'm going to accept and all of those things, and then you learn to surrender. It's like a true experience of joy. So we'll experience true joy and all of those things. So this I've covered majorly in the mental health class. For more details, you'll have to look at that. Okay. So what was happening in few days, couple of years back, or even since 2020, what has been happening is we have been really very fast. We have totally forgotten about our true purpose, which is that soul focus. So we were if you've seen families, we were all in that, going in different directions. And what happened? We all were stuck at home during the pandemic. So pandemic or COVID is more like, I was told it is more like a dharma devata. Okay, dharma devata means it's more of something that earth brought, or the higher intelligence brought COVID. COVID is more in the is a what do you say? All these germs are a part of second dimension, which is we are in the third dimension. They are all a part of Mother Earth, which is a part of second dimension. Fungi, this, that, everything is under the earth, right? So something like that. So they are all belonging to earth. So when COVID happened, what was the objective of Mother Earth? Mother Earth wanted everybody to detox, because if she is moving to a higher consciousness, then she wants her people also to move to the higher consciousness. How do we move to higher consciousness? Only by detoxing. So by in mass, everybody started detoxing at that time. So it was her way to clean herself. So pandemic happened, all of us started staying at home, and then we all connected together, right? So the families came together, differences were sorted out. It was more like, what do you say, when it was like a new team formation. So in project management, what typically we do when a new team is formed, they say that first a team formation happens, then there is all this fighting that happens, storming that happens between people, because it's still a new team and people are getting to know each other. Then what happens? People are like sort of accepting each other, accepting the differences between each other. That is called norming. And then after you accept each other, then you will be performing as a good team or as a good family. So all of this, every single family went through this team formation, a good team formation, and they started really performing too well with each other. So see, if you see, for that matter, if you don't have health, if you don't have good physical health, even if you have money, even if you have social wealth, it doesn't matter, because but if you have let's say the other two, you will not get health. How much ever money you spend, how much ever rich you are, whatever may be your position in the society, and whatever time also you have, you may have a lot of time on your hands, you may have less time on your hands, time doesn't really matter, but health is not something that you can buy. It has to be earned, it has to be learned, it has to be what do you say, with practice you have to do this. There is no shortcut to all of these things. So physical health, or this vehicle's health, is a true wealth on earth to attain that soul's objective, which is why Patanjali's entire Yoga Sutras have been built just to go and then make sure that that objective has been met, which is eventually going to meditation. So how do we acquire this wealth called health? So here, if you see, what you are seeing as an external appearance or an external feeling or whatever it is, which is the physical, it is nothing but a fruit. It is the fruit of something else, of a healthy tree, which has been nourished by the roots of spirituality. So spirituality is the root and physical health is the fruit. When I say physical, it is all three put together: physical, emotional, mental. So many people have asked me, I really fear death, because you see, I have this cancer, I have this other issues and all of those things. So I want to really clarify that death is not equal to health. Of course, there are situations when the physical body is not well maintained, and then all of the health issues happen. So there are very rare situations when the soul says, okay, fine, I'm just going to carry forward this issue in the next life or in the next body, because I think it's too painful to manage this body forward. It's a rare thing. But majority of the times, death is a planned affair. And even when we are healthy, a person can go, because that the time the quota is over, the learning is over, everything is over. But then so nobody knows when a person is going to get off this bandwagon. We just know that as long as we are traveling on this train, we have to focus on our health. So when we come to health, we have to think of this very important concept of law of karma. Law of karma says, if you take a certain action, then there will always be a certain reaction to it. So whatever choices you make in life will determine the appropriate health, whether it is mental health or physical health. It will determine that appropriate health. So how do we progress spiritually, right? So first thing that we have to remember is there are different levels that we are nourished at. So before this physical actually happened, we are a soul, is what I said, right? So there is something called the Atma Shakti. These are the forces that help us stay healthy at all the levels. Okay, first one is called the Atma Shakti. It is more like a Kundalini energy, or that feminine energy, the creative life force that is more like how much we are aligned to earth, soul, how much we are aligned to our soul. So most of the time what happens, we are mindless and then we are aligned to the body only. So the entire journey is all about aligning to the soul, right? This entire samadhi state, everything going in that direction itself is aligning with the source. That enlightenment itself is aligning to the source, soul. So that is called the Atma Shakti. So whatever is your strength of alignment to the soul is, that there is one Shakti, there is one that is one strength that you have, or that is the energy that you have. Okay. Now, on top of that, the next one is Prana Shakti. Prana Shakti we all discussed yesterday, vital energy. The other day we discussed, right? Vitality or vital energy we discussed. So that is nothing but the cosmic energy that is flowing through us. And then we earn energy when we meditate or when we sleep. And then we save energy when we focus on the right lifestyle. And all these days we've been speaking about lifestyle only. So I'll not be addressing that. I'm just going to say that vital energy. So typically when we are aligned and we know exactly how to balance our prana shakti, and we are also aligned to our soul at a great level, then you can be a breatharian. Of course, there are so many people who are not breatharians. Like for example, so many enlightened masters, brahmarshis, they're not breatharians. Why are they not breatharians? They can actually be breatharians, right? But then they still do eat food and all of those things. So it is a choice. See, if there is an entire knowledge, there is all this ways of the unit, the way the roles that you can play in the cosmos or in the universe. Some may want to be a breatharian, some may just want to just go higher and higher in whatever path. And then when you come to earth, you just want to eat food, whatever is available. So it is just a choice. Everybody doesn't have to be a breatharian, but that is the ideal path to go as far as the soul is concerned. So many people can be a breatharian because they are already in that state, but then they just choose to eat, not for pleasure or anything, but just like that. But for this body, for this soul to be on earth itself, if you're having enough prana shakti and you're aligned to the soul also, so you can be a breatharian, which means you don't need anything else to live on earth. You just have to be in that constant state of prana shakti, which means you're always flooded by that prana shakti. It's like there is a gush of energy always around you, and you're bubble wrapped in that energy, right? So what does it actually mean is, you are always in a meditative state. You are always vibrating in your theta state of consciousness, or the deep sleep state of consciousness, but in a conscious state or in an awakened state. Which means you are when we sleep in the night, we go to theta states, deep sleep states, not dream state. That is delta. When we go to deep sleep states, where we don't have even thoughts also, we don't have any dreams also, that is called the theta state of, it's a very slow mind vibrating state. Okay, slow. In that state, our mind is extremely clear, and we are like super connected to the cosmos. Energy is like flowing inside us. So typically everybody goes to deep sleep at least only about for 2 hours. 2 hours is great. Maximum 3 hours. Minimum 1 hour. So 1 hour is the only thing. If you sleep for 8 hours also, typically everybody is only getting that 1 hour worth of deep sleep energy. Okay. So what people want, what yogis do is, they try to meditate. When they meditate, what happens is, consciously they are going to that state. So which means if you're unconscious, then that is like typically that 1 hour. It's like standard. But then of course that also will change depending on your health and all of that. So let's say if you're conscious, then what they will try to do is, okay, I will learn how to go to the deep state. And right from 10 o'clock itself, I'll go to the deep sleep. So 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, let's say they are meditating, whole 6 to 8 hours, they are basically in deep sleep state. Now what will happen? The entire night, entire night they are in theta. Entire night that gush of energy is entering, they'll be like a genie. Right? So that is what people try to do, and that is the journey all about, which is to get to that theta state of meditation. So breatharians are more into this breath work and all of that, and then they have learned to be in that state, and then they typically just live out of this prana shakti. Now, let's say this is not, we are not still there yet. We are not still aligned to the soul. We still don't have enough prana shakti within us and all of that. We still are shaky. So the next Shakti that you can depend on is only Jala Shakti, which is pure liquids, which is the next subtle state. So Atma Shakti and Prana Shakti are all completely subtle. So the next in the gross area, the water element or the Jala Shakti is the next Shakti or the energy that we can depend on, which is pure liquids, not 100% water. It is 100% pure liquids that are available on earth in its purest form, which is typically in the fruits, vegetables, and greens. So here you can absolutely live your life through this Jala Shakti, and then over time work on the Prana Shakti, alignment with your soul, and all of those things, and still live your life happily. Over time, get to the higher states. But let's say we are not there also. We are not living on that kind of thing also 100%. Because we have ups and downs, we have our likes and dislikes, we have all of these things. So what we'll do, we'll probably have to get down even further and depend on solid physical food. So what is a solid physical food? The solid physical food can be anything. It can be, so we discussed all about this lighter foods to denser foods and all of those things, right? So lighter foods are majorly that keeps us high vibrating, which will balance our prana shakti, which is not going to eat away our prana shakti. See, as you go down in this chain, your prana shakti will start reducing, because jala shakti also is physical, so it will take away some prana shakti to work on that and all of that through this physical body. Then the solid food also will take its time to burn, to get burned in this physical body. So it takes that, it will burn the prana shakti. So as you keep going down, from lighter foods, which is, let's say, fruits, then vegetables and greens, and let's say the raw category, then in the cooked category, you will have all of those things. Then you come to the most complex, then the animal foods, then the processed foods and all of those things. Processed foods are worse than even animal foods. Okay, so processed food comes last in the entire chain. So as you keep going down, what happens? You'll be burning prana shakti, and you will actually be going far away from that health level. If you are aligned, if your Atma Shakti is absolutely aligned, then what happens? Prana Shakti and absolutely aligned. Then you are here and you are absolutely in health. Health means physical, mental, everything is okay. But then as you keep going down, you will be going away from that center. So the more you go down, you will be going away from that center. The more you go away, that will deplete your health in whatever way. So first, where did it start? Who's giving all this energy? It is the Atma Shakti and the Prana Shakti that is giving you the energy. Now, next is, because of all of those, because you're aligned to the soul, and how much you're aligned to the soul and all, you have mental beliefs and emotions and all of those things in that database that you have. And because of those baggage that you bring life after life, that will define your physical vehicle's condition. Okay, so we have to keep balancing all of these things, because we that was the way we treated our past lives. So that is why the future lives also will be a sum total of that. You cannot spoil one vehicle in the past life and then just say, I need a new vehicle, all pristine, it has to be like all new. It doesn't work like that. It says you have to pay the penalty for what you did to that vehicle. This vehicle also has to suffer. You stay in this vehicle, fix this vehicle, then you will get all that credit back. So like that, what we have to do, we have to use all this knowledge and things like that. We have to fix this vehicle and then take this vehicle only and then go higher. So that is what is called ascension. You will take the same vehicle, make the same vehicle perfect, give all this neuro boosters and all of those things, and then you go higher. So obviously you cannot take any physical body or mental body or emotional body for granted and say that I will just get away without actually getting exposed to anything. So there is always a penalty that nature will ask us to pay. So how do we now ensure that we are basically taking the right decisions to be in the center or as close to the center? Since we are all still in the physical, we are still in the solid food category. Now we have to understand, and all this entire subject or this entire workshop was all about solid food category, and many of these things definitely, to some amount, we handled Prana Shakti. We definitely did some amount of mental work or mental health work to align to our Atma Shakti and all of that. So everywhere we've touched upon few things, but we still have to work on that to go higher. So in the how do we know that we are aligned and all that? So this Atma Jnana means the knowledge about I am the soul and what is my journey. How do I basically come from one life to another life? What is my progression path? How is this knowledge acquisition kind of happening, and how that knowledge is basically applied in each of this life, so that entire path, that entire charted path that we have is basically called Atma Jnana, or that Atma's knowledge, the knowledge about the Atma. It helps us strengthen, align with our Atma Shakti. Next is conservation of vitality, which we've discussed. It helps us to save and earn the Prana Shakti. Okay, so so saving how? By choosing the lighter foods as much as possible for the body, and then even if you have some people will eat only light foods because they're already aligned, like fruitarians, they're already aligned to eating only light foods, they're only there. So, but some of us are still there in the not in the complete raw category. We are still eating cooked food, so we'll have to learn the ways of taking the middle path. If you're already in the lighter category, then there is not much of a, you're not so off, isn't it? So there is always still that that alignment is majorly balanced. But when you're actually off with some cooked food and all that, you'll have to learn to take the middle path. So what we'll do, we'll depend on Jala Shakti to balance our Prana Shakti. Because we know that Jala Shakti is just below Prana Shakti's thing. It is just the first subtlest, first grossest. So we will do more, some amount of that also, some amount of lighter foods also. Then little bit of let's say mind-related foods, which are more denser foods. So we keep doing this mix and match, and then conserve that energy. So hence, learning to conserve energy and balancing your body is the what do you say? Is like the key in this journey. You take any kind of lifestyle, whether it is plant-based lifestyle, non-vegetarian lifestyle, vegetarian lifestyle. In every lifestyle, you have to learn how to work on vital energy. Of course, if you're in a non-vegetarian lifestyle, you're choosing the densest food, right? Almost the densest food. So imagine how much of work you'll have to do to get to this state. So there's a lot of work, and you may never be able to compensate because it's very, very far away from the center. So that is why what we say, don't eat. So there are also issues where we'll not be aligned to the soul and all when we are having a non-vegetarian, because the soul is also there, and every animal and everything is also an extension of the same consciousness. It is extension of the same source energy, but with a different vibration. So hence, you can't think that that is a different person, that animal is different, I can cut it and eat it and all that. So there's a lot of, what do you say, misalignment to the soul there. Hence, you will never be able to come back to the center. Same with dairy products and all that. Again, you can't be depending on another soul's food, which was originally meant for in nature for the children of that particular soul or that body. So we can't think that I can take away whatever is there from that person and then lead my life, because we are not meant to be in that dependent state. So hence, again, there's a misalignment. So when you go off the chart like that, it is very difficult to come back. So you can't judge the people who are basically taking that path, because that is the choice of the soul. It wants to see, okay, what will happen if I take those choices? What will happen? What will it feel to basically be in the densest of the energy, go alive, go far away from that center? What all will happen to me? Soul wants to learn that. So when the soul is basically learning all that and also getting that Atmagyan means living the meanest kind of, the worst kind of life, like totally away from the center, and then slowly coming back to the center is what is called Atmagyan. And then in the process of coming back to the center, there is a experience that or wisdom that the soul develops. So over time, it basically aligns. So either way, we don't have to judge people who are there. But then if you are getting an option to talk about something like this, like the way we have got an opportunity to talk about something, talk about it. Who will take it, who will not take it, when they will learn, when they will not learn is not an option. It's not something that we have to worry, because we have to do our duty, and when the outcome, how the outcome will take place, we don't know. So that is all about the center and all that. So Prana Shakti is like a art of learning how to balance all of these things. So once you understand what is it that is going to help me save a lot of Prana Shakti, so the more Prana Shakti you have, the more healthy you are. Because once that Shakti comes, you are also having enough energy for that mental body and physical body to also clear the blocks. Because they have blocks only, that block gets reflected in the physical body as diseases. Because you didn't handle it at that level, right? At a belief level, you didn't handle it at a emotions level or a feeling level and all that. So now that is basically getting trapped into the physical body. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to heal the physical body through food, this, that, whatever. I'm going to eat this, I'm going to take medicine, I'm going to whatever, do this, do that. Healing this physical body will not change an iota. But what will happen when you actually heal this, focus on the physical body? Because you can see, because you're a person who depends so much on the sense organs giving you information, this physical body's wellness only basically gives you information. That is what you are aligned, because you're not aligned to your mind, mental body, and your energy body. So we have to see, okay, am I getting better? Am I not getting better? So we will choose foods that will save a lot of Prana Shakti. And when we get that Prana Shakti, or when we are in the state of getting that Prana Shakti or saving Prana Shakti through all these lighter foods, what we should do? We should think, okay, am I aligned to my soul? So if you should focus on many of those things, whatever we discuss in the mental health topic, you should think about those things. And then wherever you are basically going off track, wherever you are thinking that I am a body, expecting from people, rather having all the sadness and all of those things, is because you have some blocks in your life. The way you approach life or the attitude towards life has to change. So you'll have to focus on those things. You can't just keep healing this physical body and think that my life itself is eating fruits, my life itself is eating raw. That is not the job at all. The job is to say that when these higher energy foods come to you and you're making all of that energy available to you, what am I doing to channel that energy to fix myself? So that should be the focus. So go and fix all that blocks, mental blocks and emotional blocks and all of that. That is going to heal you permanently, right? So then as the blocks keep healing, naturally you will not be aligned. Naturally you will go away from all the negative or the lower frequency foods, because you don't have lower frequency blocks anymore. Because you had lower frequency blocks, you are going towards lower frequency foods. So, for example, today I still eat cooked food. So possibly I'm yet to find out what are those lower frequency blocks that even I carry even now, right? It's not wrong, because the soul will take that time to decode whatever those things are. For that, I may have to sit, meditate. I may not be spending all the time to introspect. So there are so many things that I'm not doing that I'm probably have to do. But then time will come for everything, and then someday we have to do it, right? So hence, we'll have to focus on all of these prana shaktis to earn and save. So meditation, I told you, right, that theta part and all that. So what are the major foods? Again, to summarize, positive energetic foods will save your prana shakti. And then ample exercises, which means you should not overdo the exercises, and then some people are so obsessed about exercises, because like they think that this physical body is like permanent thing, and then I'm here only to build my body and things like that. It's not to judge people, but then you should just do ample exercises to ensure that your body is moving, it is healthy, you have enough strength, right? Strength is important, okay? Even though you do body strengthening exercises, even though muscles are growing, that is important, because as this physical body ages, its metabolic rate will also go lower. So, and then it will also reduce the muscles, because it thinks that, okay, as this body becomes old, it will not work efficiently, right? So even the car, isn't it? So the mileage that it was giving when it was new versus the mileage that it gives as it starts aging decreases. So which is why we have all of these things, right? So ample exercises, adequate rest, which means you should not always be resting or think that I'm or give reasons for not exercising. So, and just enough exercises and then adequate rest wherever it is necessary. See, rest here means physical rest, physiological rest, and psychological rest. So physical rest means you will be resting your physical body. Physiological rest means your organs you should know how to rest your organs also. Do you control your organs? You don't control your organs, but at the same time, now you are sick. Let's say you have a loose motion or something like that. Your stomach is not ready to digest. That is why it's giving you loose motions or vomiting, nausea. So at that time, you have to rest your stomach. And when the gut is bloated, when you feel all of those things, you have to give that rest to the stomach. Sometimes what happens is we keep eating the same things on a daily basis. Let's say you're even eating raw for the whole day, one cooked meal in the end of the day. But maybe your body is not ready to do that kind of processing if you keep doing it for all 7 days. Maybe 8th day, it needs a break. But what we do, 8th day also we eat, 9th day also we eat the same thing, 10th day also we eat the same thing. By the time you hit the 10th day, the body is like totally gone, and you feel like I'm eating all the right things, but my body is so suffocated. It is basically bloated, all of that. Why? I'm eating all the raw, all that, because your body is unique. Somebody may give you one suggested diet, but you have to put your head, because no doctor is going to come and tell you, no nature care practitioner is going to come and tell you. You are the best person for managing your own body. So you should think, okay, 10th day I'm feeling bloated. Let me give it a break this time. And next time when everything resumes back, I will see how many days does it take? What is my hunger levels? Maybe by the time I reach my 7th day, my hunger levels are actually reducing. First day after that detox, my hunger is very good. And second day, it is also very good. By the time I hit the 5th day, maybe I'm not feeling so hungry. It is slightly late. So you have to observe all of these things. Then you will be able to give sufficient rest to your stomach. Okay. Then sufficient rest to your mind. How much am I constantly thinking about my in-laws? They are doing this, they are doing that. How much am I thinking about my relatives, about my husband who's not talking to me, about, let's say, my children? What are they doing? Are they watching gadgets? See how many loopy thoughts we have. So you'll have to give rest to that. So much of drain happens through mental loopy thoughts. So it is very, very important that you don't get into loopy thoughts. It's so horrible, because what happens is, when you go into those loops, first time it is okay. Second time, by the time you hit the 10th time, 20th time, or whatever it is, the mind will say, okay, these loops are basically happening on a regular basis. So it will basically assign it to the body. The body will take over those loopy thoughts, and whatever is the step-by-step process that happens, let's say stress, cortisol, adrenaline, whatever is getting released, now the body is managing it. Body is basically mindless, okay? It doesn't think whether it's happening, not happening, or automatic programming. It is like an autopilot. Again, the mind has to come and say, stop, stop, stop. Okay, it takes time for that. So don't even get into loopy thoughts. It's a bad, what do you say? It's a very difficult game to basically manage. So all that is about rest. Then positive thoughts and emotions. Thought is a language of the mind. Okay. Emotions are the language of the body. Feelings are the language of the body. So when you have a thought in your mind, which is at a subtle level, okay, that will have a appropriate emotion or a feeling that happens with the thought. So that has a certain frequency. It can be a higher frequency thought or a lower frequency thought. I actually forgot to get that chart. Okay, next time. So it's either higher frequency thought or a lower frequency thought. So we'll have to manage and ensure that we learn how to make those thoughts positive, which will ensure that our emotions are at a higher frequency, which will basically enable the body to be healthy versus the body to be unhealthy. The lower emotions or the low frequency emotions like anger, this jealousy, hatred, expecting people to do something, all of those things, fear, worst thing, fear, anxiety, all of those things will actually take you away from that center, because that is not the nature of the soul. What is the nature of the soul? Satchidanand, which is absolutely being in a state of bliss. So the more you get out of bliss state, the more you are away, and then the more disease. So positive thoughts and emotions. If you don't know how to do positive thoughts and emotions, that is where you'll have to read books. You'll have to read books. You'll have to attend lectures. You'll have to attend all of these YouTube videos where all of this talk keeps happening. In PSSM, there is no dearth of all of these talks that happens. So much is happening that you actually don't know where to go, and what do you say, where to go. It is like flooded with all this information. So it is just a matter of you going and opening one of those PMC channels, and even if you browse their playlists, you will have so many topics. You can start with one topic and you will basically never end with those topics, and you just start to implement it. And another way to do it is go and then register for a Bhagavad Gita class. The best thing, Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book. Bhagavad Gita is mostly a book of life. It's a book where you'll have to learn your lifestyle skills. It will teach you life lessons, and it will teach you how to live in this physical body as a soul. So it applies to every single religious person who's not of Hindu's religion also. So this is not a religious book. So hence make time to go and attend Bhagavad Gita classes. Even if they call it, say, Krishna, this, that, and all, don't think it is a Hindu god or something like that. Consider him as one of the world's greatest teacher who comes to teach some of these things. And then go attend those classes. They have beautiful knowledge. And in PSSM itself, Patriji has spoken so much about Bhagavad Gita. He has also summarized Bhagavad Gita in his own book. So you can do all of that. It is very important for you to ensure that you take the time or make the time to come to the center of that from disease state. If you have to come to the center, first of all this vital energy has to be managed, and you'll have to attack it all at the mental and emotional level. Physical will buy you time. Physical practices will buy you time until you fix these other things. But fixing this itself is not the entire thing. If we keep fixing only physical, whole life you'll be fixing, and here you'll be having all these blocks. By the time you it's like it won't be enough. Let's say you'll start with one cooked or something like that. It won't be enough, because again and again you'll have to keep saving, you'll have to keep removing foods from your life, and you have to keep saving, because this block is basically not working. This block is not getting addressed. So this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So what will happen? Here you have to save more and more and more to balance. If you're not saving, what will happen? Again, you'll be in the disease state. Symptoms will come out. So it is very important that you handle all of this at a root cause level, which is mind level. Okay. So that is positive thoughts and emotions. Next is service to self. You have to understand, who are we? We are creators, isn't it? We are God. Patriji calls us gods. Because why gods? Sorry, I had some cold. I am also releasing acute issues. Right. So service to self, making time for passions and creativity. We are creators. So you should know basically what is it that you really like to do in your life for yourself, which actually there is no expectation of anything, no money, nothing, but you still have, some people love to cook. Some people like to paint. Some people like to sing. Some people like to dance, music, whatever it is that you like to do. Some people like to garden, work in the garden, spend time with nature. Whatever that is that you like to do, you have to make time for passion and creativity, because when you do that, you are at a alpha state of frequency. Alpha state means you are at a very receptive state, at a very clear state of mind, at an awake level. So at that time, health is actually naturally happening to you. So we'll be saving prana shakti there, and hence it is important that you make time for passion and creativity. Whole day, if you're basically passionate about life itself, living itself is a passion. Whatever is happening to you itself, you think it's magic. Everything you feel, it's so great and all that. Then whole life you are basically in happiness itself, right? So that is a great state to live. So next is service to mankind. Before you think about service to mankind, first you have to service yourself. Make yourself healthy, mentally, physically, and all of those things, so that you can go out there to start helping people in whatever way you can. Whatever, everybody has a certain gift, has a certain skill that we have, that we come to earth for. While we fix ourselves in many ways, we have to also contribute something to this earth and go. You look at everything in Bhagavad Gita, it is called a yajna. Here you'll have to do your own yajna and then go back. So contributing something back to this earth is very important before you go back, because you'll have, like, trees are contributing, sun is contributing, rivers are contributing, animals are contributing, birds are contributing, bees are contributing. As a human being, what are you contributing? So you have to contribute something to mankind selflessly before you die. So it starts with self, making oneself capable of serving others. You cannot be full of negativity, full of this, full of that, and then go and serve. So it's not like there is a you have to make yourself perfect and then go out there. To some extent, as long as you feel positive, you feel good and all of those things, and you feel like going and helping others, start helping others. In the process of helping others, you will basically clean yourself even more, because that is like the vital energy that we save there will become far more, because when you see others happy, you will actually be more happy than what you will be just when you serve yourself. Okay, so that is service to mankind. And then spiritual practices. How do you basically increase your spiritual practices? First is that mental health class, which I already spoke about. So you have to pay attention to that. Then you have to calm all that. When you work on all of those things, that you will get a calm mind and a relaxed mind. And you'll have this calm and relaxed mind will be there irrespective of all the challenges you will have in life. So what challenges? Let's say financial problem, children problem, husband problem, in-laws problem, whatever problem you have, now it doesn't look like a problem to you. Did that change? Nothing changed, but you changed. That is very important. Don't expect anything to change in your life. What will change has to be you. When you change, everything will actually feel good, and then you will learn better from the same experiences. So that calm and relaxed mind will make you ready for meditation. And then when you're ready for meditation, Then basically you'll see alpha level healing at a basic meditation level. Then you'll eventually be able to, the breath will connect us to the divine one inside us, which is a soul. Because the divine is like a connector to the physical and to the mental and to the emotional and to the soul, spiritual. So meditation is going to connect us because we are going to be constantly focusing on our breath. So in all of these things, what is very important is being consistent and making everything a habit, because habits are what makes the body work. So there are many people, what they do is they take on a certain, at a physical level only I'm saying, let's say you do a certain healthy habit, let's say eating habit, you have established a certain eating habit. Now suddenly you learn about intermittent fasting. Let's say, yeah, it's nice to actually do intermittent fasting. It's going to make us feel better. We don't know anything about intermittent fasting. We just feel, somebody told it is good. So what we do, we put that also into the equation. Now we have intermittent fasting. Then some other day somebody says, oh, water fasting is very great. Yeah, it is actually going to do this, that, and all that. So bring water fasting also. Every other day do water fasting. Why? Because it's actually going to do this and that. Now, where is the habit getting established? One day you're doing this, 2 days later you're doing something else, let's say 10 days later you're doing something else. Body is not getting aligned to you at all, because it is every time you take some certain steps and then make it a practice, that is called a habit. What is that habits doing? It is creating certain channels, program in your brain, which is actually creating a program in your body. And then so many things are getting aligned because of that habit. Organs are getting aligned, mind is getting aligned, everything is basically aligning itself to that habit. It takes 21 days to 30 days to develop a habit. And after that, we go through some other habit, adding on to that habit. So when we keep doing these ups and downs, let's say even for that matter, we go and then we are in a certain detox pattern. Now we go and then eat off something. Like recently somebody told me that they ate non-veg in between the detox. Now what will happen? It's not like we go totally back. Okay, now everything is gone. The detox itself is gone. No, it's not detox itself is gone. It is more that there are so many factors, and then the vital energy, there are so many factors which we really cannot measure. So all that we can say is the habit was broken, and the body will again restart from some point. So these are all not some things that we can actually clearly say what happens. But definitely there has been repercussions. That's all we can say. So habits, making a habit, and we are creatures of habit, whether it is at the mind level or the body level or whatever, we still have to make habits. And consistency is very, very important. You can make mistakes. It is okay. You can do up and down on your health routine or whatever. Don't bring guilt also in between. Guilt is also not a very healthy practice. We are not supposed to be guilty, because when we are, why we are not supposed to be guilty is because whatever we did in the past, we had a certain amount of wisdom, a certain amount of knowledge. But today we have more than that. How can you basically, from sitting in today's place, how can you judge whatever happened in the past? That day you feel that was right and you did it. But today you don't feel it's right, isn't it? So hence, you don't have to judge for the past. You don't have to be very anxious about your future. Be in the present and then make your life more consistent. Whatever habits you have, bring consistency in your habits, and then it is actually going to help you through your life. Okay, so I have a very nice quote from Deepak Chopra here. It says, through silence, through meditation, and I don't know what it is. And through non-judgment, you will access the first law, which is the law of pure potentiality. There are 7 laws. I'll not be talking about all the laws. Law of incarnation, law of karma, law of constant progress, law of all. There are 7 laws there. So out of that, the first law is pure potentiality, which is basically consciousness. That we are pure consciousness. We are basically that soul and all those things. So here it says that breath is what? Without breath, there is nothing. So breath is, that is why Anapanasati meditation is one of the simplest meditations. Many of us have done many meditations, guided meditations. We've done chanting. We've done, let's say, what is that? We've done lots of chantings we've done, and then we've also done Ho'oponopono, we've done blessings and all that. Yes, it definitely helps, because they are also what do you say, raises our frequency there, because when we do all that, we are aligned to the source, they're aligned to God. So when we're aligned to God, we definitely earn some prana shakti there, we definitely get to a higher state of vibration. But still the mind is used in all of those things. What happens? You are still in the physical level itself. The physical, in the sense, you are still in the grosser level. But for you to be taken to a subtler level of frequencies, to a higher state of consciousness, you have to take something that is what do you say, a item or a entity that is going not just in the gross area, it is also going in the spiritual area also. That is breath. So hence we are focusing on the breath. But let's say you say, I'm not ready to focus on breath, I have so many thoughts and this and that. Then initially you can do all this chanting, this, that and all, but you should still remember that it will take you only so far, only till the heart chakra. It can only open you until the heart chakra. After that, if you have to go beyond the heart chakra, you have to meditate only. You have to take the help of breath, because beyond the heart chakra, it is a subtle frequency. It's a subtler chakras. All of them are subtler chakras. So subtler dimensions also. So hence it is important for you to see how nothing is right or wrong in this. Whatever feels right to you, go there, go until that place, and then over time catch up. But know where exactly and how exactly you have to get to your highest state of consciousness. The last part is, spiritual health is not separate from your physical, but it is a root of all the healthy physical and mental life. Art of living is actually not equal to disease or suffering. We are not supposed to be sick at all. There is nothing like sickness. There is nothing like disease. It is nothing but just we are out of homeostasis. Homeostasis is the center. Everything is aligned. We are just misaligned. That's all. So disease is basically misalignment of lifestyle. And that started because we forgot we are the soul. Because we forgot we are the soul, we made blocks in the mental and emotional body. Because we made blocks in the mental and emotional body, the physical body became sick, and that is called disease. Of course, it is called disease at the mental and physical also, but it's called disease. So how do we fix this? First, we have to align with the soul. Then, because we aligned with the soul only, we will get a reason to clear our blocks. Just like that, we can't clear our box. Yeah, it is very bad, yeah, to be angry. So no, don't be angry. If somebody says like that, you definitely will not be able to follow it. Why you should not be angry? And see, anger also, right, in the emotional frequency spectrum, somebody is angry, they are just bursting out and shouting at somebody, is definitely better than being in depression, right? There's always a level. So if somebody is in depression and they're not even talking at all, everything is all suppressed inside, that is even a worst thing compared to anger. So in that state, anger is definitely better. For somebody who was in depressed state and now suddenly they are angry, yeah, they have progressed in their life, but they can become better. So like that, we will continue to keep becoming better and better. So the art of living is equal to holistic health. Holistic health, or becoming a Buddha. So over time, you'll have to learn the art of living in alignment with the soul to keep your mental, emotional, and physical body healthy, so that you can become a bodhisattva or a Buddha or a person who has attained that state of enlightenment with self. He knows himself. He knows he's aligned with everything around him. There is oneness with everything around him. He thinks, I am the only one, and everybody that I see around me is the same, is the, what do you say, extension of the same energy. It is extension of the same God or the divine. So everybody is the divine creator expressing himself through different frequencies, different vibrations, different faces, different ways. So ultimately, it's still the same creator, isn't it? So hence, knowing that, so we have to get there. So that is what is called art of living. So okay, so over time we'll have to get there. Until then, practice, practice, practice. Okay. So any questions so far? No questions? Or am I late? Okay. No questions on chat also. Nobody's raising hands also. Oh my God, I'm speechless. Sanju, can you unmute and talk?
Yeah, my question is, you mentioned about Bhagavad Gita classes, right? So can you share some details on that, please?
Actually, Bhagavad Gita classes, I'm sure wherever you are, there should be plenty. But apart from that, there are so many on the internet. I sometimes refer to Swami Mukundananda's Bhagavad Gita, which is very freely available on the internet. But everybody has their own interpretations of that teaching. Whatever feels, it's don't stop at one book of Bhagavad Gita or something. Just read multiple books of Bhagavad Gita. That way you will get multiple perspectives and you make your own perspective. You make your own understanding of it. You don't, that's what Patriji says also, right? Don't follow anybody. You keep reading books, don't analyze the book, don't analyze the author or anything. You read, you make your own analysis, because ultimately books are again planting seeds inside you. So just go with anything. So yeah, like I said, you can start with Swami Mukundananda's, and over time you will raise the consciousness, and maybe whatever is right for you will come to you. And Bhagavad Gita, Patriji has also written Bhagavad Gita book. I think it's available on Amazon. I personally go to some classes which are available to me. So yeah, like that. Maybe you can also look for some classes like that. But yeah, keep that in mind and you'll find one. Prashanti? Sanju, I hope I answered. Prashanti?
Yeah. Hi, Smita. So thanks for the wonderful session. So it has given us different perspectives. So I have some couple of doubts in there. So the first one is like resting, right? So what literally rest means? So should we get rid of thoughts and whatever things, or just do without doing any work, or what
Yeah.
you literally means the rest?
See, there are different, we have covered this, but then there are three different types of rest. One is physical rest. Physically, you're resting means you're basically either lying down, right? That is,
Okay.
you're not working, you're not using any of your body parts. Physically,
Okay.
your hand is not moved, you're not walking, you're not talking, your sense organs are not working. You're just basically at rest, physical rest.
Yeah.
Physiological rest means your organs are not being used. Of course, we can't stop the heart, we can't stop the brain, we can't stop
Okay.
many things, but we probably can not use some, we don't have to use the digestion so much. Then we don't have to use the mind so much. So when you don't use the mind so much, you can be in silence mode. You can shut off your eyes and all that, because when the eyes don't take any input, so much of thoughts also you'll cut off. But then internally, when you're basically in loopy thoughts, you are basically very busy. Your mind is very busy. So how do we stop those loopy thoughts? When you focus on your lifestyle habits, which addresses those loopy thoughts, then your basically mind is silent. Another way is to basically rest is to not talk also. There also you'll save a lot of vital energy. Mauna. So like this, many different ways we can save vital energy through rest. When we are sick, not talking also is one way to save. Like when we do ekadashis and all that. Instead of also, like when we do fasting, many people do fasting because every 15 days it's best to give the body one break. It means, let's say, not even thinking about religious reasons. Giving the physical body break itself is called, let's say, Ekadashi. Then at that time, why shouldn't we also save vital energy through not talking, by not maybe seeing gadgets at all? So many ways we can save vital energy. Ultimately, we are still, all of these practices are just to save vital energy so that we can start aligning with the soul. So
Okay,
that is
okay,
physiological rest. Then there is psychological rest, which is a mind level rest.
okay. And how do you like? I understand this holistic thing. How do you see some ambitious goals that we have? So should we shut them off, or we should
No.
follow?
See, for example, let's say you have a goal of, let's say any business person, they have a certain goal to make so much profit or whatever it is. Um, but first of all, whatever you do, that has to be aligned with dharma. Apart from whatever earnings you do, that has to be dharmic in nature. All that is anyway, let's say I take that as granted. But you make any plan, even if you have to make profit, whatever, just make that plan. That is not wrong at all. But being attached to the outcome of or that planned outcome. Let's say you want to make $100 million.
Okay.
But putting all my energy to make $100 million, you already planned everything. Let's say planning, everything is happening. So work on the plan. Whether it actually makes you 100 million or whether it makes you 50 million, don't really get attached to that, is what Bhagavad Gita also says. Attachment is a problem. What we do, right? We become so attached to the outcome, like we'll try to change the plan itself to make that.
Okay.
To some extent, it is okay, but focus on your current work and making the work joyful instead of being attached to some other. Because once you're doing some work, outcome can be anything. So you should just believe that any outcome is good for me. Let it come. I will learn from that also. Let something else come. Let learn from that also. So you can make any planning, because in that also there's so much of lessons that you're going to learn.
Yeah, actually, the two thoughts were I was like, it was conflicting with me. Like, I want to achieve something, so I want to work on that. So, but also I'm not giving enough rest. So, what am I doing right?
Like, okay. See, but you should all see that is where it comes. If you're able, if your goal is so important, that achievement is so important, you should focus on making all that vital energy available. What we do, we say we will eat this, that, whatever, we will also break our head, we will be in stress, but still I want to achieve that goal. So we will burn ourselves to achieve that goal. No, so that will not work at all. We will fall sick. So we have to be very smart. If we want that goal much more than all of these things, then we will go and achieve that goal by compromising on all of these things. More than compromise, you will have a reason why you have to do all that.
Okay. Yeah, now it's very much clear, Smita. Thank you.
Yeah. Deepa?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. 3 months back, I got a cervical lordosis, ma'am. The spine, straightened up. So because of that, I'm having constant headache and dizziness. So my question is when I sit for meditation, the pain is so much that I can't concentrate on my breath, ma'am, actually.
See, meditation actually brings so much of cosmic energy, right? So sometimes the body is not ready for meditation. So maybe what you should do other things like chanting and other things, which will see, ultimately what meditation is trying to do is helping you get that focused attention into something. So practice that focus and attention by doing something else.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Like either chanting or let's say Ho'oponopono or anything else. By the time you keep doing all that, also focus on physical detoxing.
Okay.
And then as the physical body detoxes and you also work on your mental habits and all of that, then you also practice meditation. Over time, it will all align.
Okay, ma'am. And something about I have this disc bulge because of that. And you, in one of the sessions, you said spine thing is very important, no, ma'am.
Spinal integrity is very important. So yeah, like I said, you'll have, when you fix your physical, all these lifestyle habits that we've spoken about, slowly they all get better. Then you'll be able to do yoga. You'll be able to work with a practitioner and then work with your spinal alignments and things like that.
And one more question, ma'am. And hydration, you said it's important, ma'am. in one of your sessions, you said like people who was not used to drinking water, they find it very difficult and painful. So like that, no ma'am, like if I start drinking water and liquids now, I don't feel hungry at all, and it is causing me so much pain in the body.
Initially, start slow. Over
Okay.
time, you start increasing it.
Okay.
Body also, it's like a parched land. It will
Okay.
not absorb so quickly. Initially, it will take time for the body also to understand that I need to absorb these liquids and all that.
And I don't feel hungry if I have liquids, ma'am. Like I've started taking 2 to 3 liters daily, like 1 liter of juice and 2 liters of water. But I'm not feeling hungry at all because of this intake of liquids.
Maybe initially you can just start with half a liter of juice and maybe 1.5 liter of water, and then slowly increase it. Like I said, the body also has to align with that. But even if you are, let's say, giving the same thing over a period of time, let's say 6 days, 7 days, like that, also if you go, by the time the body will align, initially it will have a withdrawal symptom. After that, slowly it will align. So hence, go slow. You have your entire life to practice all this. So give it time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Manju?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, hi, good evening. Basically, I have a couple of questions. Maybe they are related. So one of them is that which you already mentioned that. So what happens is like the things which we know before, right? And then when it comes to present, we might feel that we might feel guilt that I didn't know that, right? So, but we should be happy that at least now we know those things, right? But this is continuous process, right? Because even in future there will be few things which I'll be knowing, but I might feel again the guilt, right? This will be never ending as such, right?
Yeah.
So that is, I mean, how I know that it might not be minimized, but how do we actually reduce that gap? That is one. The second question, maybe because it's related, I just want to complete that. So the second question is also that, I mean, this is what I've experienced in my day-to-day life also. So what happens is every human being, right, for their age, what they know might not be sufficient because what will happen is after you become little older, you feel that whichever was important for me a few years back, maybe you would laugh at those things, thinking that why was I struggling on those things, right? Because those are all material world or something, right? It happens to everyone, right? So how do we reduce that gap also, where we will be ahead of our age, right? So that we can be more less stressed because we know what will be there, right? So how do we minimize these things?
See, you will feel bad only when you compare with something, isn't it? So why should you compare with anything? Only when there is a comparison, you will feel, okay, yes, I'm measuring myself against something. So when you don't even measure yourself and you feel that whatever happened is the right thing already happened, and I needed these lessons in my life to come to this state of wisdom that I have today, then there is no regret at all. You are alone and you are unique. You can't compare yourself to anybody, because whoever you're comparing against, rather whoever is around you, are there to give you lessons only from your past lives. They are all a part of your memory or that baggage that you're carrying. Otherwise, how will you know what to fix? They are all like your postmasters coming to give you message. So who are you trying to compare with? Your past. So there is nothing. So what Zen masters also says, just live in the present, enjoy the present, like as if this is some kind of vacation. And in this vacation, you're just seeing how beautiful this human life can be in this particular body with these set of experiences. You will never get that Manju's body again with that Manju's set of experiences again. So just enjoy the body and don't compare. You fail, you pass, it's all in your perception. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Did I answer your question, Manju?
Sorry, I was not allowed to unmute, so that's where I was not able to unmute. So yeah, so for some extent, yes, but see what is my other point is that, right? So I understand that what the mentality you are setting in that you should enjoy the present, right? But the way how it has been done from the day one, right? I mean, maybe the root cause has to be changed. Maybe from the beginning itself, to people to think in this way, because the surrounding people who you meet might be, see, in this session, yes, I agree that okay, the people might be like-minded and all, but that's not the real life for many of us, right?
Everybody doesn't have to be like-minded. What I'm trying to tell is, when you are alone in your universe and everybody is just there to give you lessons. If somebody is coming and, let's say, making you angry, you have to work. It just means that you have to work on your anger. If somebody is coming and criticizing you, it means that you have to look at loving yourself more, respecting yourself more, because you're trying to validate yourself through something else. So like this, challenges will continue to come only to help you fix yourself. So it is not about like-mindedness. There are nobody else. It is just you in the entire equation. Everybody else is just playing different. Every other soul is playing a role that you have given in terms of script to them. And that script is coming from your past life only, where you have done a certain set of equation and now you're coming to do the opposite set. So here it's good to read some physical books about how the soul works and all of that. So you will be able to get out of that mindset that there is somebody else trying to basically give all these experiences to me and I don't like all of that. The more you try to fix other people, the more we try to blame other people, we are just stuck in the same equation. We will not be able to align to that soul at all. That Atma Shakti will never come.
Yeah, I agree to this point because I've experienced that. But
so it's just that ignorance, lack of knowledge, that's all. So once you know that, see, the best way to think is, you should be in the same set of equations, same set of situations and experiences, but you have to be happy. If you are not happy, it means that you don't have the right knowledge. So now it is time for you to go and focus on getting that knowledge and implementing so that you are happy. So that is a right, measure for you.
Yeah.
Instead of changing things around you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but then I think, I mean, see, once we have this dependence and all those things, right? I mean, I agree that if you are alone and then maybe taking this kind of a decision, or, I mean, cutting out the rest of the people around, and then you be thinking about yourself and then you be happy what you decision take and all those things, it makes sense. But in the dependent world, right? Because we stay with a close family and then there are a lot of dependents, right? So there are situations where we have to compromise for some or the other things. So maybe
I wanted to ask whether you've attended all the previous videos.
Sorry, no, I was
yeah. So because I've done a lot of dependent talk in the previous videos, so hence it will be great if you can actually watch those videos where I've worked with, I've spoken about mental health and things like that, where many of these things are actually covered. Interpersonal relationships, social relationships, everything has been covered.
Sure. I'll do watch those. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Aman? Aman? Aman, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hello?
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask you actually a couple of things. About the tongue coating, I want to ask you when and how does that go away and what does that signify? You said liver, but is it more to that, or because a lot of people, there is this tongue diagnosis also, and a lot of people use the coating on the tongue to diagnose how the internal health is.
But then even if you know what that is, what will you do about it? Let's say we will say something.
No, I'd like to check.
How do we know? how do we know that whether we are right?
I'd like to enjoy and cherish the progress, and it'll help me. It'll encourage me with my accomplishments, and stay determined on the path.
But the thing is, at that time, you only have to reflect on what other things you have got apart from tongue. So then maybe you'll be able to measure some of these progresses that have already happened. Isn't it? So it's a whole, the entire body works as a single unit. Maybe tongue is still not completely addressed yet by the body.
Okay.
Maybe there are other parts that have already been addressed, and we just have to say, okay, yeah, this I'm focusing on this, but something else probably has addressed. And healing is inside out, it is not outside in. It happens inside, but we will not be able to see everything.
Right.
And one day it will start showing up outside, because all the critical ones have actually been handled inside. But it is see whether we are focusing on our health or we are not focusing on our health, we are still, body is still trying to detox all the time. It is a automatic programming. So every day some form of detox is happening. And then if you are on a good, relatively good lifestyle also, let's say plant-based lifestyle also, you are actually progressing in the right direction. Maybe it may not work towards the timelines that we are expecting, but the body is already doing its job. So we just have to trust that I'm going in the right direction.
Also, another question is how this wrong lifestyle that we all have been living in the past, how that affects the hormones, and how correcting this new pathway, leading to this new pathway, that those hormones can be fixed. Like if one has started to have slight hormonal issues, how can those be fixed?
See, again,
And
those are all endocrine glands, right? And again, those are a part of the body itself. And
get toxic.
which how are the endocrine glands working? Who's controlling the endocrine glands? Maybe the brain is controlling the endocrine glands, and which part. So it all depends on the sequence of interdependencies that are there in the body. And we can't really again say how and what are the sequence of events that are happening, what is the priority of the body, because the body does not share status updates with us except for what we see outside. So
Okay.
we just have to wait all of these things. We just have to trust that sometimes things may not work out for the timelines that we are expecting, but then apart from waiting, there is no other choice, because nobody knows how the body works. Even medical science only gives inputs, and then they, after measuring the outputs on certain sample of people or a set of people, they say, okay, in general, this is how the body works. But then you can't even compare those things, because God knows what are the lifestyles that those people have led, and what are their mental thought, what is their mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical, so everything cannot just happen on physical health. So there is so much more to what even research says. You can't even depend on many of these things and apply to your own life. You just have to think you are a single unique person, and then the way the body works on you is absolutely so unique that you cannot compare this with anybody else.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Saman. Did we have anything on the chat? Okay, somebody has shared Gita classes. If somebody wants to take a look at it, you can see. Yeah, okay. I don't see any questions. Yeah, thank you so much for joining this class. Yeah, beautiful. Yes, Osho has it. There are so many things in PMC. If you search for Gita classes in PMC itself, I'm sure there is plenty of PPSSM is actually a hub of spiritual knowledge. We just have to be patient enough to go and then find the right source and then pick up the playlists and things like that. It is a ton of knowledge. You just cannot say that this is not happening in PSSM. And PSSM is so unique that it is very inclusive. It doesn't say only whatever I am teaching, whatever Patriji is teaching, only his teaching is there in this entire channel. Not only his teaching, people are talking about Osho's teaching, people are talking about Bhagavad Gita, people are talking about Jesus, people are talking about so many things. It is a non-religious, absolutely inclusive organization, and so much of knowledge. It's like there's so much of variety here because of that inclusiveness. He brings thousands of spiritual books, lakhs of spiritual books have been written based on channeling, based on auto writing, based on so many things, and we have access to everything in PSSM. So it is so beautiful. Actually, it is just a matter of you taking that interest and going back to PSSM and saying, okay, I want Hindi, go to PMC Hindi. You want Gujarati, go to PMC Gujarat. Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, so many channels are there. It's just a matter of wanting to change, wanting to earn that knowledge, and you'll find plenty here. Just 2 years, I think my knowledge transformation has been phenomenal in PSSM. Okay, thank you so much for joining today. It has been a pleasure again, and I request you all to leave us some feedback also. I'll try to see if I can share you a Google Forms so that we can collect some feedback. This is the first time we are doing something like this, so it will be good if you can share some feedback with us, so that if there is any change also, we can do some changes. If we have to go back to PSSM and then conduct some similar workshops, it will actually help. Okay, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.